Look up at night. You see that bright orb hanging in the dark sky. It seems steady, predictable, even comforting to watch as it moves across the black expanse. Most people treat this sight as background noise in their busy lives. They ignore the strange math behind what they observe. If you pause to consider the exact size of that sphere compared to the star it orbits, you might feel a sudden shift in perspective. Does the precise physical alignment of the lunar body imply that our own lives are part of a calculated design instead of just a lucky roll of the dice? The relationship between the solar disk and the lunar surface is like a lock mechanism fitting into a specific key, because the exact ratio of their diameters creates the perfect eclipse shadow. This precise geometry allows for total coverage during an event that happens nowhere else in our solar system. Scientists measure this 400:1 proportion with extreme care. It dictates how light reaches our planet. This rare configuration provides the stable environment needed for complex biological development to occur. When the scale of these celestial bodies matches up so cleanly, it suggests a pattern hidden beneath the surface of empty space. We are looking at a physical arrangement that keeps the climate temperate and the tides rhythmic. The existence of this ratio forces us to move past simple observations. It asks us to look at the cold data of planetary mechanics and consider if these conditions were prepared for us in advance. The numbers are too specific to ignore when we analyze the history of our world. Imagine a person sitting in a quiet room at midnight. They are reflecting on a series of events that brought them to this exact chair at this exact time. They could have taken a different route home. They could have stayed at work for another hour. Instead, they arrived here to witness the moonlight hitting their desk. If the moon were slightly larger or further away, the light would hit the world differently. This person begins to wonder if their current situation is the result of a long chain of tiny, unlikely events. They consider how easily their path could have diverged. If they had missed this moment, they would not be contemplating the nature of their own arrival. They realize that their presence in this room is tied to an immense series of conditions. They must choose to view their life as a deliberate sequence of occurrences or a chaotic mess of random shifts. This thought experiment changes how they see their own personal history. I spend much of my time thinking about how we interpret the world around us. We often want to believe that our stories have a point. We want to think that our presence here is justified by some grand architecture. When I look at the moon, I see a reminder of how strange it is that we exist at all. I do not find comfort in the idea of a pre-planned outcome, but I find it fascinating to acknowledge the math behind our world. My perspective is that we occupy a space defined by extreme conditions that allow for consciousness. It is difficult to accept that we are just a fluke of physics, yet the evidence points toward a universe that does not care about our individual goals. I have reached the conclusion that we must create our own meaning regardless of whether the cosmos intended for us to be here. We are the ones who assign weight to our daily choices. The lack of a clear plan from the stars does not make our lives less significant. It makes our actions more important because we define the value of our time. Do you feel the burden of your own decisions when you realize how unlikely your presence is in this vast, quiet darkness? We are observers of a silent, spinning system. The moon keeps watch over our nights while we struggle to make sense of our place in the void. Perhaps the answer to why we exist is less important than what we choose to do with the time we have. You might find that the uncertainty of your own origin is actually a form of freedom. What will you decide to build today, knowing that your existence is an improbable event in a cold, vast